It is almost impossible today to talk about African comics without mentioning Joëlle Epée Mandingue. Elyon, as she calls herself, stands out as one of the most inspiring writers from Africa who is striving to contribute to the enhancement of the comics genre on the continent. Our correspondent Sayon Koma met her in Conakry, where she lives.
This is not a trivial smile. It's the smile of a genuine comics fan, thrilled to be part of this private opening in the Guinean capital. For Oscar, it is a long-cherished dream to revisit the history of African comics that has finally come true.
It is a great opportunity to highlight the talent of African authors, so it is a pride for us all that this exhibition is finally taking place.
This private viewing in Conakry is in fact the Kubuni exhibition of comics from Africa traveling through the network of French institutes around the world. Launched in 2020, the exhibition is intended to be a cartography of comics from South Africa to the Sahara. And here in the Guinean capital, we can feel the enthusiasm.
I have learnt a lot. The exhibition truly highlights the evolution of comics yesterday, today and tomorrow. It's very interesting to see the history and the whole evolution story.
This incredible exploration of African comics, and undoubtedly the most remarkable, is co-organized by the author Joëlle Epée Mandingue. The Franco-Cameroonian is the co-creator of this exhibition in collaboration with the Cité Internationale de la Bande Dessinée et de l'Image in Angoulême, France. The aim is to show the wealth and diversity of African creators.
Alors, pourquoi Afrique.s?
So why Africas? Because with my co-curator, we really wanted to remind people that Africa is not a village.
Donc ça veut dire qu'il ne faut pas s'attendre à une
This means that we should not expect a homogeneity of features, subjects, characters, and even in the characters' appearances, we wanted to show that Africas refer to several Africa, so we wanted to write Africas with a .s instead of Africas or Africa in the singular form.
This event is only one of the projects of this African comic book author. Born in Bafoussam in her native Cameroon, Joëlle is considered one of the torchbearers of the ninth art on the continent. The Cameroonian's rich career began as the author of the comic strip La Vie de Ben Douta, or Life of Ben Douta, a comic book that propelled the young career of Elyon, her nickname. And today, the adventure continues 8 years after the first volume was published.
Pour l'instant, il y a 3 tomes. Donc il y a le tome 1.
For now, there are 3 volumes, volumes 1, 2 and 3. I'm working on volume 4, which should, by the grace of God, come out in summer 2023.
Par la grâce de Dieu, il sortira normalement l'été 2023. Je m'inspire beaucoup.
It's inspired by my own life as a student. I studied partly in Belgium.
J'ai étudié en partie en Belgique.
Yeah, I studied comics in Belgium, and also thanks to the contact with others, there were things that I thought I knew, and I realized that I didn't know, or that I didn't know well, and also that TV distorted my understanding of others enormously, so I drew a lot of inspiration from that.
And thanks to the experience gained from Eben Douta's life, Joëlle is now involved in promoting African comics. Festival director and co-creator of various temporary comic books exhibitions on the continent, Elyon wears several hats, including the organization of the most prestigious comic book exhibition in Africa, Bilili BD, or Bilili Comics. This festival, which will be in its 7th edition in December 2022, is dedicated to celebrating the continent's graphic creativity.
C'est vraiment un festival créé pour réseauter.
It is a festival created for authors to network and mix diverse profiles and talents, Cameroonians, Togolese, Senegalese and Europeans.
Sénégalais, des Européens.
We have already started to have a lot of nationalities at the Bilili Comics Festival, and it is really a networking festival.
C'est vraiment un festival de réseautage.
a networking gathering which has enabled Joëlle Epée Mandingue to identify new business opportunities. Elyon draws for magazines and comics collectives in several countries, but she also creates for individuals and institutions, for festivals as well as for comic workshops around the world. A proof that the African ninth art is in full swing.
La BD africaine a de l'avenir.
African comics definitely has a future.
Définitivement. Et j'ai même envie de dire, au-delà du fait
And beyond the fact that it has a future, it is a bright one.
Dans son avenir. Ce n'est plus un lendemain lointain.
No longer a distant future, no longer a dream, no longer a fantasy.
Ce n'est plus un rêve. Ce n'est plus un fantasme.
When we talk about comics from Africa,
de bande dessinée d'Afrique, il y a de la qualité.
There's both quality and quantity.
Il y a de plus en plus de profils.
And there are more and more talents, authors who do not dream of a life far away from Africa, but who build it in their own country on the continent. There's a future, and our future is now.
Un avenir et on est dans notre avenir maintenant.
As Joëlle plays the ambassador of African comics, she's today present in several African capitals and continues to write her story. Between the preparation of the 7th edition of the Bilili Festival in Congo and the conception of the 4th volume of the life of Eben Dura, 2023 promises to be decisive for Elyon. The festival director wants to continue to put stars in the eyes of comics book lovers.